If I want to back up, we also have carts or cows, and we have 4 per class or 4 per school. There's 2 cows, and cows is computer on wheels. We have 2 that have iPads. There's 30 in each, and there are 30 laptops of each in the cows. So they have 4. So they have 120 computers that are able to be used. Teachers will be trained on iPads as well as on their laptops, and then the children will be able to check those out. So everyone will be receiving an education on technology. What our hope is, we have a 5-year plan. We're hoping to drop that down to 3 years. We have to see how it goes. We're in the evaluation stage at this point. But we have a 5-year display is what we present to the Board of Education, and the Board of Education is given the okay. If this catches on quicker, then we can condense the timeline. So we'll have to see with that. But that is the information that we've given to them. This is just another rollout that we have, and if you take a look at student iPads, all of those have already come in. Right now we're inventorying them, and we're configuring the app so that we are prepared. We plan on having a meeting in December with parents in those grade levels. You'll have to come in, sign off on a waiver. We'll give an orientation to the child and to the parent. And once that is done, we hope to start on January 8th. That'd be the day back from winter break where the kids are using that. We're also going to have a ceremony, we believe, on January 14th, where parents are invited to each of the schools. We will go there and we'll celebrate this. Some of the resources that we use are Skyward, eChalk, Curriculum Mapper. There's a list, board docs. Just want to point out a couple important topics here. All of this will be posted on our website tomorrow morning. You're more than welcome to take a look at it, as well as make a copy at your home if you wish. But Skyward and eChalk, those are 2 different components. In a school district, we need a student management system, which is the grades. We have to report information from there to the State Board of Education. So that is where that comes from. eChalk is our communication tool. That's our website. So when you go to our website, it's called eChalk. So those 2 are synonymous. And the eChalk, the website has our assignments are on there, announcements the teachers have, etc. We look down at board docs when we talk about professional learning opportunities. Our Board of Education was trained about 2 weeks ago on board docs. We are no longer going to be a paper type of board anymore. We're going to do it on iPads. All information will be on these iPads for board meetings. In addition, there's a Twitter and a Facebook component. We will make sure that we send information out. And I believe it's October 8th will be our first board meeting that we're using our iPads. So you'll be able to read information on Facebook as well as Twitter. And that information will also be part of board docs. If you go to our website, you can go down, you go to Board of Education, come down, and you will see board docs. You click on that and you'll be able to see what we're talking about for the public. So by going to board docs saves the school district a tremendous amount of money in paper, gas, or fuel getting the board packets to our Board of Education members. In addition, we have some other tests called the MAP, Ames Web. Those are assessments that we use as far as our data portion of our Big 6, so we can determine and make proper decisions for students. And as we go down, you can read through those. Next, what I would like to do is I'd like to introduce Ms. Crystal Conley, Mr. Andrew Bauer, and Ms. Carolyn Scanlon. They will be speaking on the teacher and student approach to what we're doing for the 21st Century Learning Initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Dester. It's a pleasure to talk to you this evening about the state of our district and the exciting things that are taking place for our students. I would personally like to thank the Board of Education, the new district administration, and our community for taking such a leap for students. As a teacher in the district for 10 years, there have been many changes since I've been here in staffing, in curriculum, in initiatives, but there's never been a more forward-thinking innovative direction than our move towards 21st century learning. One of the difficult things for teachers is deciding how to spend the limited amount of minutes that we have each day with students and get in the wide range of curriculum that we have, while still trying to inspire students and helping them to be problem solvers and higher level thinkers. As the world has grown, so has our curriculum. However, we're still operating under the same traditional school day, the same K-12 systematic structure that we've had since the industrial age. It is not enough anymore for students to learn the 3 R's to be competitive in society. Colleges are looking for collaborators, problem solvers, students who can analyze information. I look at my daughter who's a freshman at HF, and I know that in 3 years she will be competing with students from all over the world. I think about our traditional education and I think as a parent, how do I help her with that? How do her teachers help her with that, with this traditional curriculum? And it's a scary thought because our traditional curriculum really does not fit the bill to prepare our students to be global innovators in society. 21st century education does that. And it allows teachers the opportunity to use technology to open up the world to children. It allows us to use technology in our classrooms in ways that we never would have imagined when we were in school. For example, one of the things that we're doing this year is something called a flipped classroom. Flipped classroom is one of the coolest ideas that I've heard of. And it's such a smart idea. It takes the basic content information that's usually given to students through lecturing and note-taking in the classroom, and it flips it. It flips it with those more challenging things the students would take home for homework. What this does is it allows the teacher to free up classroom time to be the guide towards that innovation, to be the guide towards those higher level thinking skills, allowing students to collaborate, and allowing the teacher to not hold the students' hands anymore, but really to allow them to step forward and take more ownership of their learning. It's time out for students to be spoon-fed information. You're not spoon-fed information in the real world. As adults, when we go off to our jobs every day, people don't spoon-feed us information, there are expectations. And we need to find ways within our current school structure to really give our students those real-world opportunities for learning. As teachers, we know that you can teach at students all day long, but if students are not inspired to learn, that true long-term learning really doesn't take place. In society today, we have iPhones and Instagram and Facebook, and our students are always on their cell phones and on their iPads. They've moved on to the 21st century. And if we want to touch them, if we want to reach them, then we're going to have to meet them there.
I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, especially the Board of Education, community members, parents, and administration. As Crystal just kind of talked about, students are taking on a different role. They're becoming the creators of knowledge. They're becoming the innovators. And as a teacher and as somebody moving into the 21st century, we also need to make that change. We need to become the facilitators of this knowledge and the guiders of this knowledge. This initiative that the district got approved for is going to help be local for that for this current district. It's going to let us have our data and our students' work be driven by that data. we're going to be able to instantly assess our students and see where they're currently at and where we can take them individually. I want you to imagine a day where teachers do a lesson and then they're instantly able to assess where the students are at. To see in that current lesson if a student got it or if they didn't. Well, that is not. And this initiative lets us be there. It gives us the opportunity if a student is failing that lesson, that current lesson, not overall, but that current lesson, and then reteach it to him that day. This should take us days, and with that, maybe even weeks. You can instantly do that through initiatives like Khan Academy, Raz Kids, Bluebird. These let us see where our students are currently at that second, and see if you need to reteach them, or if you have an opportunity to enrich. Because in this day and age, it's not going to just be status quo. We need to keep pushing every student to their individual learning ability. It's come up that the U.S. Department of Education says that 65% of today's grade school kids will end up jobs that haven't been created yet. We need to prepare our students for these jobs. This deeper level of understanding for each individual student at their learning ability and the new expectations brought on by the Common Core, we need to prepare our students to be the leaders and innovators to meet the demands of tomorrow.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Scanlon. I'm actually a 7th grade math teacher at Parker Junior High, and this is my 8th year in the district. When I think about the current initiative that our district is undergoing, I have a little bit of a personal perspective. I think of my 2 young children who are 3 and 5 years old, who are just beginning their educational journeys. And I watch how they've begun their lives. They have been immersed in technology. From birth, they have seen iPads, they have seen iPhones, they have seen computers, laptops, even DVR. Things that did not exist or weren't as plentiful when I was even a kid. And I think about my children where I can watch my 3-year-old pick up my iPad, find an app, find a website, find a video on YouTube, and he can't even read. And somehow yet it's inherent in him and he understands how to use these devices. So I can't imagine my own children or anybody's children who has the opportunity to see these devices, not necessarily have them at school. And it's one of the things that our initiative is bringing to our district. I can't imagine young children who have these experiences outside of school where they're able to reach to the outside world. They're participating in, they're creating, they're publishing, they're making videos and games and stories and videos online. So as teachers, one of the things that I think we need to do is embrace that and enhance our classrooms. Why not use that to our advantage and reach outside textbooks and reach outside of our walls to the parts of the world that these students are already embraced in. Not only do we need to keep in mind where our students are coming from when they enter our district and what access they've had to these tools, but we also need to think about where they are headed when they leave our district. I think about when I left high school and I entered college, I was 18, and the University of Missouri where I attended was just releasing email. I actually just told my students that the other day, and they could not believe that I didn't even know what email was until college. They asked me, well, how did you keep up to date? How did you talk to people? How did you communicate? I said, well, the same way my parents did. I picked up a phone or I drove to somebody's house if I needed to know the information. They didn't quite understand, but I think they kind of got it. I also remember 12 years ago in the year 2000, one of my first jobs out of college was actually working for an internet startup company. So if you think about that, that was just 12 short years ago. The internet was just beginning, and this was a new model in the business world. And now, in 2012, most of us have either worked for or know somebody who works for a company that has an online presence. So we think about the students that are coming to our district, and we know that they're going to be involved in careers that we can't imagine 12 years from now. And our job as teachers in this district is to give them the tools and the ability to be able to succeed in those careers and in those jobs. And one of the things we are doing as teachers together is helping our students to become engrossed in some of those 21st century learning skills from day one. One of the things our 7th grade math department has begun this year, we began the year different from any other year. We decided that on day one we wanted our students to work together, to be collaborative,